So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to the final part of the seminar today on Sanskrit for Scriptural Study. Today I want to do two things. One is that I'm hoping that we can get some opportunity for some practice in actually reading and reciting the verses using a chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. And so we can do that for about 45 minutes or so. And then for the next 45 minutes or an hour or so, I want to introduce you to samasas or compound words in Sanskrit, because I think they'll be both useful and interesting for you in terms of your study of the scriptures. Okay, so that's kind of the plan for today. Now, for the first part, we need Bhagavad-Gita. So if you have your own copy or if you have one on the phone, then you can bring that out. Okay. So everyone still have the handout that we received yesterday?
Oh, yeah, it doesn't have that, no. Right.
Not the Devanagari, probably.
Yeah, right. This one doesn't have it.
Thank you. So, please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, hopefully from yesterday you remember that we talked about a few, we discussed the alphabet and we talked about the organization of the alphabet, the quality of the sounds. We also discussed the arrangements of meters, the long and short syllables, and how that creates a particular rhythm, a metrical pattern, and I gave you examples of many different kinds of meters. But the basic, most fundamental kind of meter is the Anushtup. And the Anushtup is a very simple meter. It's actually the first one on that page. And it has 8 syllables per quarter. So 8 times 4, 32 total in the verse. So in that sense it's very short, and each verse is only 2 lines, it's a couplet. We often write it in 4 lines sometimes, but like in this Gita it's written in 2 lines. It is generally in Sanskrit written in 2 lines, so 16 syllables per line. So, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yuyutsava, Mamaka Pandavaschaiva, Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. Okay, so 8 syllables per quarter, 4 times, 32 syllables altogether. What's interesting about this is that it's a very flexible meter, and just the last 3 or 4 syllables of each line actually are regulated. You know, when we saw Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu yesterday, every syllable was determined as long or short. There was no variation. Every line was the same. In Anushtup, it's just the last 3 or 4 syllables of each quarter are determined, and the first 4 syllables of each quarter can be anything. Guru, Lagu, and any pattern. It doesn't make a difference. So it's a very open and flexible meter. If you look in your handout, and you turn back to that page of Sanskrit meters, you will find that in the Anushtup, just look at it says the normal form, and that's all we need to know for now. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 syllables, then another 8 syllables. That's 16. So that's half of the verse. The second half of the verse would be exactly the same. Okay? But notice those little circles. The first 4 syllables are circles, which means they're open. Anything. Long, short, guru, lagu makes no difference. And then in the second 4, you have short, long, long. Right? And then open. Anything. So just that da-da-da is what creates a rhythm. And then the second half, again 4 syllables open. Da-da-da. That's short. That way it creates a short, long, short. It creates the rhythm. So dharma kshetre kurukshetre da-na-na-na. That's the rhythm you feel in Anushtup. Samaveta yuyutsavaha da-da-da-da. Right? So that's the pattern you're hearing, which creates that rhythm that we normally feel. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. That's a da-na-na-na. Short, long, long, like that. Okay? Da-na-na-na, da-na-da-na. Right? That's the short, long, like that. Okay? So it's one of the simplest, but also very open and flexible, and therefore very useful. And the vast majority of the Shastras are written in Anushtup meter. Okay? So learning proper pronunciation with Anushtup is the first step. It's crucial. It's going to be the most useful. And then the principles you learn with pronunciation of Anushtup, you can then use those same principles to learn how to recite longer and more difficult meters. Remember some of the basic principles of good pronunciation we talked about yesterday. First of all, the meter will always fit. There will always be a rhythm there. If you're not, it's not quite fitting, go back and check how you're pronouncing it, because there's probably some syllable that you're mispronouncing or missing altogether, which is causing the meter to trip up. But you can pronounce every verse, no matter how difficult, because Sanskrit is one letter, one sound. And if you know how to pronounce each sound, you just go one syllable at a time. If you're tripping up and it's not working, just go back to the beginning and do it slowly. Do it as slowly as you need to. Dharma kshetre. And then as you learn how to pronounce each syllable, it'll flow. So you can do every verse. That's the main thing to remember. There's no verse which is so difficult you can't do it. Okay? So that's one thing we talked about yesterday. The other principle we discussed is that you want to exaggerate the difference between short and long syllables. If not exaggerate, at least be conscious always of the difference between long and short. If you swallow a syllable, a short syllable, or if you turn a long syllable into a short syllable, it will mess up the meter and it won't sound properly. Okay? So that's the second thing. And then the final thing is that you want to pay attention to the aspirations. Nice, full aspiration sound is very important to work on. Okay? So the difference between ga and ka, and ga and ga should not be diluted. Now there are many smaller things that make up good pronunciation, but rather than go through them one by one, why don't we start practicing actually, and then as they come up, I can explain. It will be easier when we have examples in front of us rather than me trying to do theoretically. Okay? So I suggest we read chapter 9. It's a really wonderful chapter, all about the practice of bhakti, the most confidential knowledge. And we just start right from the beginning. For the first few verses, what I'll do is I will recite them line by line, and just so you get the hang of it, the rhythm, and everyone can repeat, just like we do in Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam classes. And then after I do a few, then we'll just go around. And anyone who wants to can recite one verse, we'll all repeat, again like Bhagavatam class, but I'll listen carefully for your pronunciation and offer suggestions whenever I can. Okay? So, here we go. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Idam tute guhyatamam
Idam tute guhyatamam
Idam tute guhyatamam
Idam tute guhyatamam
Pravakshyam yanasuyave
Pravakshyam yanasuyave
Pravakshyam yanasuyave
Pravakshyam yanasuyave.
Okay, so here's the first thing to talk about. Actually, let's finish the verse, Krishna's verse. Shouldn't interrupt. Jnanam vijnana sahitam
Jnanam vijnana sahitam
Jnanam vijnana sahitam
Jnanam vijnana sahitam
Yajñatva mokshase shubhat
Yajñatva mokshase shubhat
Yajñatva mokshase shubhat
Yajñatva mokshase shubhat.
So a couple of things to note in this verse. First of all, the long and short syllable thing, right? Idam tute. So often when we recite this verse, we place the emphasis on tu. It's very easy. Idam tute guhyatamam. But that's a short u. So it needs to receive short time. Idam tute, and place the weight on the te instead. More importantly, with yajgnatva in the final quarter, yajgnatva mokshase shubhat. That last a needs to be long because there's a line above it, right? So yajgnat, not yajgnatva mokshase shubhat, but yajgnatva, and it needs to receive full treatment. Even if it's at the end, it receives full treatment. Okay? I forgot to mention that in this part of the seminar, if anyone has any questions or doubts or confusions, then just raise your hand right away. You don't have to wait for a question and answer period, because this is more of a workshop at the moment rather than a lecture. Okay? So don't hesitate to ask. So long and short syllables, as I mentioned, is important. But the one thing that nearly trips up nearly everyone is this pravakshyam yanasuyave. Okay? Now, you notice that Y at the end, pravakshyam, and then there's a Y, and the natural tendency, if you're an English speaker, is to read it pravakshyami. Pravakshyami anusuyave. And that's a problem. What makes this very common is, this problem very common is that in English we know that the final Y is an E, like happy, right? So the Y is an E. But then what makes it worse is it seems like there's evidence for that view in the word for word. If you read the synonyms, then that pravakshyami, that was a ya, is now pravakshyami in the word for word. So the original word is pravakshami. It's not pravakshami, right? However, in the verse itself, as a result of rules of sandhi, which we haven't spoken about yet, but it's when two words come together in Sanskrit, then often the last part of the first word or the first part of the second word, or both, change when they meet. A simple example, Ishopanishad is composed of two words. What are the two words?
Isha
and Upanishad. Isha and Upanishad. But the A and U together make O. Ishopanishad, right? Rameshwaram, a place in South India, is composed of
Rama and
Ishwaram. Rama and Ishwaram, but A and E together make A. Rameshwaram. Okay? So we know some basic sandhi rules intuitively because we are so familiar with many of these words. This is one of those sandhi rules. The E turns into a Y, into a Ya. But you cannot pronounce that Ya without an A. You can't say it. Remember, consonants need vowels. So you need to take the A from the next word and put it there. It's divided as separate words in the English. Unfortunately, in these books, we don't have the Devanagari. Anyway, if you can read the Devanagari, you will see that Pravakshyam Yanasuyave is written as a single word. This is not written as two words in Sanskrit. In English, it's divided up for our convenience, but it's not actually written separately in Sanskrit. So you need to do Pravakshyam, and then the Y and the A from the next word. Pravakshyam Yanasuyave. Pravakshyam Yanasuyave. Okay? The A gets carried over. That way you don't add an extra syllable. Let me show you this. If you were to do Pravakshyami Anasuyave, the wrong way, count how many syllables there are. Pravakshyami Anasuyave. 9. Okay? And how many are we supposed to have? 8. But if you do it the right way, Pravakshamyanasuyave. 8.
So we don't say it. We don't say A in that word. Like A silent.
No, A we say. Pravakshamyana. Ya. So the Y is the Y part, and then the A is in the next word.
Yeah.
So let me show you here. Everything is. Prabhupada says, yes, sarvagata, the living entities are present everywhere. So there's no empty space. So we get rid of that false empty space. This is what we have. Okay? So all we're saying is pravakshyamyanasuya. Right? So the is right there. This is the
No, I want to show you here. Abhi dekho, Hindi mein, right? Over there.
Not from the word for word. In the word for word, the sandhi is removed. Okay, sandhi is removed, so it becomes different. I knew one very nice Indian gentleman who didn't tell me he was doing this, but he went through all of Bhagavad-Gita and found all of the places where the verses differed from the word for word. So this pravakshyam ya, it's a Y, and then down below it's an E. And he corrected them all. And he presented them to me and said, there's so many mistakes. And please, and he went through all this effort. I felt really bad, And then not immediately, I didn't tell him. But later on, then we sat down and I explained to him, look, sandhi, when sandhi happens in Sanskrit, then the original word is pravakshyami. But that E at the end becomes a ya as a result of sandhi. So what you find when you see differences between the verse and the word for word, they're not mistakes. The word for word is showing without sandhi, whereas the verse is including sandhi within it. In the verse you will find Rameshwaram. In the word for word you will find Rama-Ishwaram. So you separate it out in the word for word, because we're looking for the original word, just as a single word.
Yeah, I found every time I see a Y at the end of any word, then I just basically take the Y, detach it from that word and stick it to the next word.
Yes.
So this way, I would say pravakshyam, that's one word, and then yanasuyave. This way you never miss. This way you never miss the syllable, and you never miss the meter.
Yes.
So I just split them off like this, just for reading purposes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, because
And there's quite a few of
Our kids
these.
don't know how to read this, but they read from like this one. Like they read this.
You read one at a time, right?
So then they're reading wrong.
Yes.
Because they read.
Yeah.
Like
And I found this like in the
So you
Swami
can do
verses
it like this.
Yeah.
And this is Madan Gopal Prabhu's suggestion. It's a very good one. In your mind, divide it up. Pravakshyam, and then do Yanasuyave.
So are there any set of rules or for sandhi?
Oh yeah. There's hundreds of rules. Hundreds of rules for sandhi. Sandhi, you have to learn many rules for what happens when words come together. If we have time today, I'll introduce you to a few of those rules. But it's the main, sandhi is the main filter to remove the serious students from the casual students. In Sanskrit, the first things they teach you are sandhi rules. And you have 50% of students drop at that point. Just sandhi. It's considered the ABCs of Sanskrit, is the sandhi rules. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Navadvip, Chaitanya Bhagavat says that he used to go to these big scholars and he would debate with them, and like we said yesterday, he would defeat them. And then to add insult to their injury, he would say, "You're so foolish, you don't even know the basic sandhi rules of Sanskrit." That's like the biggest insult you can give, because sandhi rules is lesson number 1. Lesson number 2. First you learn the alphabet, next thing you learn immediately is sandhi rules.
How do you define sandhi?
Okay.
Relationship.
Yeah, so sandhi,
coupling together.
Like Jarasandha.
So, yes, it's the same word. Sandha or sandhi means to place together.
How words connect.
Yeah, how words connect. So when two words come together, the change that takes place in those two words is called sandhi. So, Gopi plus Ishwara is Gopishwara. The Lord of the Gopis is Gopishwara. The Lord of the cowherd boys, the Gopa plus Ishwara is Gopeshwara. Like that. So we're familiar with this all the time. The vowel ones are the most common. We're used to seeing them. Many examples are there in people's names and so many places.
But you mentioned there are
Many
no...
Indian languages has this, right? Sandhi?
The formalized rules are not there, but we do it. Sandhi is actually, okay, since everyone is interested, let's speak a little bit about Sandhi here and then we'll move on. So Sandhi is actually something that is a natural occurrence of the tongue, of the human tongue. Every language has it as a result of spoken convenience. The tongue fundamentally is lazy. And this is true in more ways than one. Okay, it's lazy in one way, therefore we eat nonsense food and we don't chant Hare Krishna. But it's lazy in another way, where the sound vibration isn't, it doesn't like to make, say, difficult sounds. And so when there's some kind of difficult clash, then we smooth it out. Just like, I want to do this, right? I want to do. It's really difficult to articulate that properly. So people, instead of saying want to, they say what?
Wanna.
I wanna do it. Now, in English, if I'm writing an essay and I write wanna, it's considered really bad English. I cannot write wanna. I have to write want to, but when I read it, I'll say, or when I speak to you, I'll say wanna. Okay? So this is sandhi in English. Want to becomes wanna. Means when NT, the rule is here when NT plus T. So here's the rule, sandhi rule. NT plus T equals double N. This is the rule in English sandhi. Want to becomes wanna. Here's a rule that there's like one or two rules that we actually do practice in English. And that's with A. Like a cat. A cat, but when we have to say orange, then we won't say a orange, we'll say what? An orange, right? So what's the sandhi rule? What's the rule that we learn in English, basic English grammar? Before a vowel, a becomes an, right? Why? Because a cat is fine, but a orange creates a break. A orange. And the tongue wants to slide from one sound to another. It needs things to be smooth. Just like want to creates a break. So we say wanna. It's smooth, right? So a cat is fine. A cat. But a orange, notice there's this break, right? We don't like that. We like things to be smooth. So you add an N in the middle and it becomes an orange. This is one rule that we actually formalize. Most of the time we don't formalize it. Pronounce this.
The cat.
Then pronounce this.
The apple.
The apple. Right? The cat, the apple. Right? So the rule again, the apple is too it's too much of a break there. So to smooth it out, we go yeah, the apple. Right? And then it becomes smooth. So if we were to actually write this down in English, now the problem in English is that the way we pronounce is not the way we write. There's no one-to-one correspondence there. If this was Sanskrit, the grammarians would make a rule to say that when this, well, first of all, it wouldn't be spelled like this. We would spell it like this. Okay, maybe like this. Okay, the cat. But when it comes before A, it becomes E, the cat. Okay, so you would actually change the word. What happens in Sanskrit is the grammarians, Panini and so on, listened very carefully to how people actually pronounce words. And they realized that the tongue is lazy, it will always find a smooth path between one word to the next word. So when we hear those changes, why not just make rules from them? What we're doing anyway, let's reflect that in how the language is written and practiced and formulated, right? In other words, their point was the speakers of the language define how the language actually works. And so the grammar should follow that. Remember what we said on the first day on Friday evening, right? The language is primarily sound, not writing. Writing is manual labor. Sound is actually where the power is at. So if people are saying the apple, then let's make a rule that says when a comes before a, then the a becomes an e. And then we've got the apple, right? So they listened carefully that when people were getting Rama and Ishwara, instead of saying Rama Ishwara, they were saying Rameshwara. So let's make a rule. A plus E becomes A. So this is one real sandhi rule. This is all fake. But A plus E becomes A. Rama plus Ishwara becomes Rameshwara. This is one sandhi rule. Or we had the other one. Isha plus Upanishad becomes Ishopanishad. Okay? Like that. A plus U becomes O. So A plus U equals O. That's another rule. Many such rules, if I tell you, you will recognize. But we just got one of them here, which was E plus A equals Ya. The I turns into a Y. And the A stays the same. Okay? Yeah.
This Shiva type.
Yes.
So here it varies, so should be
Yes.
A.
Okay, good question. So this is the third thing in this verse. A very good question. So the last two words, Yaj Jnatva Mokshyase Shubhat. Mokshyase Shubhat. Now look at the word for word. Ashubhat it says. Right? But in the verse itself, the is gone. And in that you have the apostrophe. Okay? The apostrophe, what is the sound of the apostrophe? Nothing. Apostrophe, is just a marker that something is missing. Just like if you in English you write the words don't.
Do not.
That apostrophe, you don't say it, right? It's don't. There's nothing to say here. It's just marking the absence of do not. And it's marking something is missing. So you say don't. In the same way, in the Sanskrit, as a result of sandhi, that in Ashubhat drops. When A comes before moksha se, you see that? Moksha se, the A comes before the then the disappears. It eats up the Moksha se, and the disappears. Shubhat.
What if you want to say Shubhat actually? What if you actually want to say Shubhat?
Then it would be moksha se shubhat. Do you hear the difference?
Once again.
Moksha se shubhat. Moksha se shubhat. There's no difference. The answer is you don't hear difference. It's impossible. There's no difference between the two. Even the apostrophe that we do in English, it's there in Sanskrit, but it's optional. A lot of ancient manuscripts do not put in an apostrophe at all. So this introduces ambiguity within the meaning, right? Does it mean ashubha or does it mean shubha? You cannot tell except through context. Except through Krishna saying that knowledge, knowing that, yaj jnatva, you will be liberated, moksha se, from what? Yeah, I mean anyone from context is going to say inauspiciousness. It would be really silly to say, Krishna saying you will be liberated from auspiciousness, right? And then everything will become inauspicious through this knowledge. That would be wrong, right? So only through context can you tell whether it's that is present or not. Now, in most cases, this is crystal clear. In some cases in Sanskrit, both meanings will work. Both meanings will work. And one very nice example is the first verse of Bhagavatam. Janmadhyasya yaton vayaditaratascha vignya swarar tene brahma hridaya adikavaye muhyanti yatsuraya tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha. Trisargo mrisha means trisargo mrisha or trisargo amrisha. Either one is possible. This world is false or this world is real. And the acharyas give meanings based on both meanings. In some ways this world is real. In other ways it's not real. It's temporary, it's deceptive, and that kind of thing. It's elusive. So many times that contraction can give rise to multiple meanings that are present. But in terms of pronunciation, the thing to remember is that the should not be pronounced. An apostrophe has no sound value to it. Okay? So it should not be pronounced. And if you do pronounce it, again, many people do pronounce it, it causes the meter to mess up. Because you add an extra syllable. Yaj jnatva mokshyase shubha. Right? 8 syllables. Now you add the Yaj jnatva mokshyase ashubha. 9 syllables. And it's messed up. Okay? So it's important to, that's a very good question. The has to be, that apostrophe, just ignore it. It doesn't exist when it comes to actual pronunciation. Okay? Then the final thing with this verse is that I wanted to talk about is the sound jnya. Okay? This one here. J, N with the squiggle, and an A. This is pronounced differently in different Indian languages today. Hindi speakers in North India say gya, like gyan. Okay, this is the sound in the word gyan. So in Hindi, what we do is we do a gya, JN becomes gya, and we drop the A at the end, and it becomes gyan. Okay?
Hindi has nya, right? Why they are not pronouncing that?
Hindi doesn't. Gya. In Bengali, they will not do the ya even. It becomes ga, gan.
Gan.
Yeah. So jnya plus A becomes gat. So gan. Or joggo for yajna. Joggo, yagya. In Hindi we say yagya. In Bengali it will say Y becomes jo. Nearly all Y's. In some contexts it remains ya, but oops, I mispronounced it. I miswrote it. Ya, like that. So it becomes, we say yagya in Hindi, Bengalis will say joggo. Right? In Y becomes ja, A becomes slight O sound, and the JN becomes a G, again, like gan, so it becomes a G. Bengali does not like conjunct syllables. 2 syllables together, like J and N, it doesn't like. Or K and S, ksha, Bengalis don't say ksha. Any time you have a conjunct consonant, you take the first consonant and you just double it. So parikshit, parikit. Take the first syllable and you double it. Actually, you add an aspiration as well. Parikit. Chaitanya, Chaitanya. The ya disappears. You take the N. So in Chaitanya, you have na ya, nya, right? But you take the ya, you disappears, and you double it. Chaitanya, Chaitanya, right?
That ujjwala becomes ujjal. The V disappears.
Yes. Yes. Chakhudan diloje. Say chakhudan. Chakhu is chakshu in Sanskrit. Chakshu. But the ksha is chakhu. Lokhinarayan. Lakshmi. So that is really bad. Kasha. Too many syllables altogether. So like that, words get changed. And Prabhupada used to speak like this. So if you see many of his senior disciples will say Chaitanya, still today, or Parikit when they're speaking. They'll say Parikit, or Maharaj Ikhaku, Ikshvaku. Prabhupada used to say Ikhaku, Ikshvaku, because that's really Kashava, triple combination. So you just double the Ka and drop the other syllables. Ikhaku. So, this jnya, so in Hindi we say gya, Bengalis will say ga. In some parts of India they say the nya, with a D, the nya sound. Okay? The basic point is that the pronunciation of this has been lost, more or less. In all the North Indian languages, everyone disagrees and everyone pronounces it in different ways. Okay? So, if you want to pronounce it the way your background in India justifies, good. Many scholars suggest that it was originally just a jnya. Ja and nya, jnya. But yajnya, no one says jnya today in India. No one. North, South India, anywhere. So I don't recommend it to most people because then everyone looks at you funny and think you're weird if you say yajnya or jnyana. But my Sanskrit teachers in Oxford used to say jnya. Probably the best thing today, kind of a balanced thing, is to do gnya. J, yagnya. It still gives some acknowledgement to the ga and some to the nya sound. Because this N here is nya. Ja, cha, ja, cha, nya. It's that nya. Okay? So it's up on the palate, nya. Ja, cha, ja, cha. Same place, nya. Okay? So by doing gnya, you're giving proper homage to both elements of the letter. Ja, and there's some element of ja there in the ga, and the nya is there. The problem with the Hindi version, gya, is that you completely get rid of the N sound. And there's definitely an N that's there. So yagya that's the problem with pronouncing like that. Okay? So yajgnyatva with the gnya. That's there. Okay? So this first verse is a really nice example because it brings kind of all the standard problems all in one verse in this first one. Okay? So let's give this another shot now. Anyone who just joined us, we're chapter 9, verse number 1. You can follow along. Okay, please repeat. Idam tute guhyatamam.
Idam te guhyatamam.
Pravakshyam yanasuyave.
Pravakshyam yanasuyave.
Pravakshyam yanasuyave.
Pravakshyam yanasuyave.
Jnanam vijnana sahitam.
Jnanam vijnana sahitam.
Yajgnatva mokshase shubha.
Yajgnatva mokshase shubha.
Yajgnatva mokshase shubha.
Yajgnatva mokshase shubha.
Excellent. So let's move on to verse number 2. And like I said, I'll do 3 or 4, and then we'll go around and you can lead us. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam.
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam.
Pavitram idamuttamam.
Pavitram idamuttamam.
Pavitram idamuttamam.
Pavitram idamuttamam.
There's a tendency to pause after pavitram, but there is no pause there. It's a short syllable. So, pavitram idamuttamam.
Pavitram idamuttamam.
Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam.
Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam.
Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam.
Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam.
Susukham kartum avyayam.
Susukham kartum avyayam.
Susukham kartum avyayam.
Susukham kartum avyayam.
One more. Verse 3. Ashraddhana purusha.
Ashraddhana purusha.
Ashraddhana purusha.
Ashraddhana purusha.
That's a double D in the first, second syllable, so you want to spend double time on it. Ashraddhana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapyamam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. Now this verse brings two important considerations to mind. First is the visarga, the H with a dot underneath it. You see that? Ashraddhana, and the last letter there is the H with a dot. Okay, that is the visarga in Sanskrit. It's written with two dots, like this, in Sanskrit, the visarga. Many people have the tendency to do an echo there. Aha, Ashraddhana. The echo, is not present in the visarga. You can do it under limited circumstances. When the visarga, when that H dot shows up at the end of a line, you can do an echo. Ishvara Parama Krishnaha. There you can do it. In the last line. In the last syllable. If it's the last thing, you have time to echo it. Otherwise, if you echo it in the middle of a verse, what are you doing? You're adding a syllable where no syllable is present. Right? And remember, that was the big cause of all our problems. So no adding. So what is the sound of the visarga? The visarga, vi means out, and sarga means to flow. Surge means to flow. So it's the flowing out of your breath. It's the sound that is made from your mouth when you breathe out. That sound. Is it a vowel? No. Is it a consonant? No. It's something in between. Just like that. If there was more power to it, it would be like ha. And that has the vocal cords. Ha. It's not ha. H with a dot underneath it is. So just do the lightest, softest, barest at the end. Ashraddhana Purusha. Just barely. No extra Ashtadhanaha Purusha. It just. At the end of a line, you can do aha if you want. But even there, it's not necessary. That's purely for flourish. It's not actually present, that sound. Okay? So with the visarga, just do a light ha sound, that's all. The second thing is with the anusvara, the M with a dot on top. See the last three words, Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. That has, samsara has an M with a dot on top. So the M with the dot is technically a nasal sound, a pure nasal. Like that. The tongue is not actually used. It's not like ma or nga. But, so we're coming to actually, let's, what verse number is Patram Puspam?
26. 27.
27?
6, sorry.
Yeah, so if you jump ahead to 26, you'll see what I mean. Yeah, you see all the M's with a dot? This is 926. Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam. It's all ma. Those M's are all M dots. So, it's a pure nasal sound, that it's a sympathetic nasal, which means it takes the sound of the nasal that is appropriate to the next letter. The first one, patram, is followed by a P, so you should pronounce it ma. The third one, palam, is followed by a T, so it should be pronounced as a na. Because in the line of T's in the alphabet, da, tha, da, dha, na. So it should be pronounced as a na. Palantoyam. Palantoyam. But that gets way too complicated. And to try to keep track of all of that is a big headache. And so my suggestion, which works for nearly every circumstance, unless you're actually trying to recite the Vedas, in which case don't take advice from me. But patram pushpam phalam toyam, just pronounce it as an M. In every situation, just pronounce it as an M. It's written as an M. If you pronounce it as an M, nothing's going to go wrong. Okay? So, samsara. Say samsara. In Hindi, what do people generally say? Sansar. It becomes a na, right? Because sa is of the category of na. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. Sa is also a dental, like ta. So it becomes a na before sa. So we say sansar. So we do this. We do this.
Like kans. Everyone says
Kans.
kans. It's spelled with an N also.
Kans. Yeah, many such examples are there. It's a sympathetic nasal. It takes the quality of the nasal sound that is of the letter that follows it. Okay? Yeah. Yes. Narasingha, the ha is a guttural. Ha is down here like ga. So Narasingha, when we do singha, then the N we give it is the la N. Ga ka ga ga la. That one. So Narasingha. So we do this properly actually half the time. But when you're trying to read verses, it's too much to try to figure out which N I'm supposed to be saying. So if you want to do it, fine. But otherwise I just recommend keep it simple, keep it as an M, it'll work smoothly. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. And make them all M's. That's how they're written. You'll never trip up on that. Okay? So Visarga and Anuswara, that is the H dot and the M dot. Those are two kind of weird letters that make things kind of complicated.
Can I just ask you a question?
Sure,
So
sure.
it is 9.46. Is Bhaktya Bharatam or is it Bhakti Bharatam? Like, how do you tell? Bhaktya or Bhaktya?
Yes. You recently arrived? Okay, no problem. So this is a good example. Maybe those who are there. How would you pronounce in that? Okay, let's look at verse 26 here. The one we were on. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. Then tadaham, and how would you do that next word? So what was Madan Gopal Prabhu's suggestion? Take the Y and move it to the beginning of the next word. So what do you have? Bhakt. Say it separately. What's the first part? Bhakt. Then Yupahritam. Bhakt Yupahritam. Okay? Bhakt Yupahritam. And then you'll pronounce it. Tadaham Bhakt Yupahritam. Bhakt Yupahritam.
It's a bhakti.
Not bhakti. There should be no E sound there. In that quarter, there's no E at all. Tadaham Bhakt Yupahritam. Again, if you add the E, you add an extra syllable. Tadaham Bhakti Upahritam. 9 syllables. You've got too many. We need 8. Tadaham Bhakt Yupahritam. 8. Okay? So Tadaham Bhakt Yupahritam.
So some places it's dash and some places it's space. So does that signify?
Yes, the dash signifies that the two words are part of a compound, a samasa, which we'll talk about afterwards. And
That's different from a samosa.
yeah, different from a samosa. Yesterday, Prabhuji, day before, was he hearing all samosa every time. I said samasa, and then he was disappointed. So no samosas here, just samasa. Jiva Goswami has a really nice verse at the beginning of the chapter on sandhi. He's praised to Lord Krishna. He says, just like words come together and they join with each other, let my mind have sandhi with your lotus feet. He says, let my mind. And it's a very nice example because when one word A joins word B, then word A changes because of that contact with word B. Yes? So similarly, when our mind joins with Krishna, then the mind changes. It becomes transformed. It becomes purified, transcendental as a result of connection with Krishna. So he says, therefore, let there be sandhi between my mind and Krishna's lotus feet as a result.
Even the Shakti is something.
In order to understand properly, why don't we just bhakti upayatam bar? Because that we can understand bhakti and upayatam.
Why don't we what?
In order to make it understand properly, that it is bhakti and upayatam.
Yes.
So why don't we just say bhakti upayatam?
Because the rhythm will be broken in the meter.
Oh, okay.
So when people recite the verse, you stumble over that section. Tadaham bhakti upahitam. Then you cannot recite it properly. But for the meaning, you're absolutely right. This is why if you look at the word for word, below that, then Prabhupada says bhakti upahitam. It's two different words. Right? But when the words come together, they change each time. And we have to respect that change. Just like we say Isha Upanishad. We cannot keep saying Isha Upanishad. We say Rameshwaram, not Rama Ishwaram. This is natural. It will happen. In fact, whether we like it or not, it will happen. This is the nature of sandhi. It's a natural process. The tongue is.
Sometimes we see in a song, like they even add syllables to make the song fit.
Yeah.
Like that last line. It says Bhakti Vinod, but it says Bhakati Vinod Deke. Why Bhaka?
Yes.
It's Bhakti Vinod, but that Bhaka will make it fit in the meter, right?
Yes.
So sometimes that's also.
Yes, Bengali has certain rules like that, where you can add certain letters to the word to elongate it. Gopi Parana Dhana. Gopi Parana Dhana. Madana Manohara. This song is there. Gopi Parana Dhana Madana Manohara. So that Parana, there's no Parana, it's Prana. But to fit the rhythm, then you add an A to that Parana. Like that. Gopi Parana. So this is a type of sandhi, you can say. But Bengali has its own system of sandhis.
Some people cannot pronounce pra also. That's a pra.
Yes, that's true. Krishna is another hard word to pronounce. And some we discussed it yesterday. Krishna is the most widely changed word in all of our scriptures. Also, Kitta, Kinna, Kanna. Right? So many. South India, Kanna is also there. Kannan is there. Kanhaiya is there. North India, Kana. So anything but Krishna.
And everybody's japa is different.
And Krishna really likes it. In Braj, when everyone calls him Kanhaiya, then Krishna really likes it. Practically no one manages Krishna in Braj. Lala, Kanhaiya, Kana. So you wouldn't know his name is Krishna. Okay, so let's go back now. I'll do one more, verse number 4, and then we'll have all of you try it. Verse 4. Actually, I wanted to read the translation also. Okay. Maya tatamidam sarvam.
Maya tatamidam sarvam.
Maya tatamidam sarvam.
Maya tatamidam sarvam.
Notice I didn't stop after tatam, because it's all short syllables. Tatamida, all short. Maya tatamidam sarvam.
Maya tatamidam sarvam.
Jagadavyaktamurtina.
Jagadavyaktamurtina.
Matsthani sarvabhutani.
Matsthani sarvabhutani.
Matsthani sarvabhutani.
Matsthani sarvabhutani.
Nachaham teshvavasthitaha.
Nachaham teshvavasthitaha.
Okay, again. Nachaham tesh. Move the V to the next word. Teshvavasthitaha. Okay? There's no U there. Originally it was an U. Teshu avasthitaha. But if you say Teshu avasthitaha, I heard a couple of you say it, and you stumbled in the meter. If you try it, you'll hear it yourself. If you have a sense of rhythm, you'll notice the rhythm is off as soon as you do that. So with the U is the same. It's a sandhi rule. U before A becomes Va. Like E before A becomes Ya. Like that. So Nachaham tesh vavasthitaha. Tesh vavasthitaha. Now here, notice I echoed the H dot at the end. Tesh vavasthitaha. Tesh vavasthitaha. Right? It's at the end of the line. You can do it if you like, but you don't have to. Nachaham tesh vavasthitaha. That's sufficient. Tesh vavasthitaha. Just a light ha sound. Okay. So last line again. Matsthani sarva bhutani
Matsthani sarva bhutani
Nachaham teshvavasthitaha
Nachaham teshvavasthitaha.
Okay. By me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And then Krishna will say, actually, I am in them. Okay, so now let's go around. I guess this is the right direction to go around, clockwise. So, who wants to start? You want to start? Yes. Sixth, yeah.
Fifth.
Oh, fifth? Oh, did we skip five? Sorry, yeah. Sorry, fifth. Okay. Yes. Please chant a little louder. Okay. And then we will repeat after you. Now that ha, you want to exaggerate the ha sound. Nachamat-sthani bhutani. Try that word on its own. Bhutani. Bha. Bha with more air. Bha. Say bha. Bha. Air. Try. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. It's all friends. Everyone here, you try. When I say a sound, you try the sound. It's the only way you learn. Right? If it doesn't sound good, don't worry about it. Nothing's being recorded here.
If you see a ghost, you'll say bhoot like that. Bhutani.
Bha. Just say that letter. Bha. Bha. Air. Do it like a man. Yeah. So you should feel air. Nachamat-sthani bhutani. Right? There should be air there. Okay? Sorry, please continue.
Pashyame yogam aishwaryam
Pashyame yogam aishwaram.
Pashyame yogam aishwaram
Yes. Pashyame yogam aishwaram.
Bhuta brahma cha bhutasto
Bhuta brinna cha bhutasto. So listen to that line again. Bhuta brinna cha bhutasto. So you've got all the buzz here. Perfect. Krishna always finds a way to highlight our weakness. Bhuta brinna cha bhutasto. So try that. Do all the air you can. Bhuta brinna cha bhutasto. Yeah, sto. Yes, air. That last ta also has an air. Bhuta brinna cha bhutasto.
Bhuta bhava. I think this verse has more buzz than any other verse.
I think so.
In Tamil we don't have.
Go ahead. Yes. Now in that, make sure that mamatma, that one is long. Ah at the end. Mamatma. Not mamatma. Mamatma. Mamatma bhuta bhavana. Mamatma bhuta bhavana. Yes. You can do if you like. Mamatma bhuta bhavana.
Mamatma bhuta bhavanaha.
You don't have to do the aha, but you can. Okay. So I'll do this verse once with you here. Please repeat. Nachamat-sthani bhutani.
Nachamat-sthani bhutani.
Pashyame yogam-aishwaram.
Pashyame yogam-aishwaram.
Bhuta brinna cha bhuta bhutastho
bhutapinna cha bhutasto
mamatma bhuta bhavana.
mamatma bhuta bhavana.
And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. Okay. Okay. Would you like to do the next one?
यथाकाशास्थितो नित्यं
यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं
वायु सर्वत्र गो महान्
वायु सर्वत्र गो महान्
तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि
तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि
मत्स्थानि ते उपधराय.
Okay, try that again. Just try one syllable at a time, gradually.
Matsthanitya.
Oh, okay. Matstha. Okay, everyone, just her for the moment. Matstha, and then the next syllable is?
Nitya.
No, just the next syllable.
Ni.
Ni, long E, right? Matsthani.
Matsthani.
Yes, then?
Yupadharaya.
Yupa, good, and then?
Yupadharaya.
What's the next syllable?
Dha.
Dha. Yupa.
Yupadharaya.
Dha, and then the next syllable?
Ra.
Short. Yupadharaya.
Yupadharaya.
Yeah.
Matsthanita.
Matsthani. Yes.
Yupadharaya.
Good. Matsthani. See, more important than correcting you, I can correct you instantly. I want to teach you the process of fixing your own pronunciation. In other words, if you go syllable by syllable, and by syllable I mean one vowel at a time, you can fix your own pronunciation. You see, oh, I'm tripping up on this. Okay, it's not ni, yupa, dharaya. No, first syllable is dha, long. Next syllable is short, ra, dharaya. Then you get the right beat. Okay. So whole line, the last line.
Matsthani yupadharaya.
Matsthani upadharaya. Good, very good. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. Nice. Okay.
Sarvabhutani kaunteya
सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय
prakritim yanti mamikam.
Thank you. Prakritim yanti mamikam.
Kalpakshaye punastani
कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि
kalpadau visrijamyaham.
कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम्.
Very nice. So notice she got the last line very well. Kalpado visrijamyaham. Can everyone say that? Visrijamyaham.
विसृजाम्यहम्.
So it's a sr. Visrijamyaham. Visrijamyaham. Okay? Good. Wonderful.
Translation.
Oh yeah.
O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestation enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. I might need help.
No problem.
Prakritim sovam vashtbhavya.
Okay, try again, one syllable at a time. Prakritim,
Prakritim
then
swam
swam, long A.
swam
Yes.
vashtbhavya.
One syllable at a time. Vash,
Vash
ta,
ta
bhya.
bhya.
Avashtabhya.
Swam avashtabhya.
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 Yeah.
Visarjami punaha punaha.
So, prakritim swamavashtabhya.
Prakritim swamavashtabhya. Visarjami punaha punaha.
Visarjami.
Visarjami punaha punaha. Visarjami punaha punaha.
Good. Visrajami punah punah.
Visarjami punaha punaha. Bhutagramamimam kritya
What letters are there in the last word? Krit, you had right. Krit is good. Then?
Sanmavashyam.
Kritsnam.
Just to that one word.
Last word.
Krit.
Krit
And then?
nam. Kritnam vashyam.
Kritsnam. Don't move on. One word at a time. Kritsnam.
Kritnam.
Kritsnam. Half of the problem is that we try to take in too much at one go. We want to read the whole line or the whole word. Just do one word. If you can't get the word, do one syllable at a time. Don't rush ahead. Once that word is clear, then do the next word. Okay? Kritsnam. Bhutagramam imam kritsnam.
Bhutagramam kritsnam. Vasham prakrite vrashataha.
Avasam prakrite vasat.
Avasham
Avasham
prakriter
prakrite
vashat.
vashat.
No a at the end. Vashat.
Is that Devanagari you're reading? Not the English.
Yeah,
That's why.
you're reading the Devanagari, no?
Original.
So, see the little line under the ta? That means that there's no a at the end. Vashat. Stop. Yes. Avasham prakriter vashat.
Avasam prakrite vasat.
The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end.
Nachamam tani karmani
Nachamam tani karmani
Nibadnanti dhananjaya.
Nibadnanti dhananjaya. Again, add or more air to the dha.
Dhananjaya. Udasina vadasinam.
Udasina vadasinam.
Asattam teshu karmasu.
Asaktam teshu karmasu. Very good.
O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral.
Oh, question. Did we go over the two shas or not yet?
No, we didn't talk about the two shas.
Because you see there's a one sha, S with the dot under it, then like a Krishna and it's Teshu, and then there's S with the apostrophe over it's also sha, like Srila Prabhupada.
Yes. So I can point out, actually, let me write it here.
Because there's a question like that.
Yes.
Sometimes, yeah. Why
Yes.
are the two different shas?
It's a good question. So you
Can we have the question again?
Okay, so I'll repeat it. There are two kinds of shas. If you see the S with the dot underneath, that's one sha. And then there's another S with the apostrophe on top of the S. They're both shas, but they're a little bit different. They're pronounced differently.
So very good question. This sha and this sha. Okay. So if you know the Sanskrit characters, then you have this, and then you have this. Okay. So sha and sha. Now Hindi has lost the difference between these two shas. They're just in writing. Some shas, shatkorn, you use this one. Shabari, you use this one. But the actual pronunciation has been lost, the difference between them. Practically, as far as I've seen, no contemporary Indian language maintains the difference in sound. So if you pronounce these both as sha, you can get away with it and no one will notice.
Gujarati, they do it differently.
They do?
Why?
Totally.
What is the difference?
Sha and sh.
Yeah. So this is Gujarati then maintains the difference. Sha and sha. So this sha is the same place in the mouth as the cha. Cha, cha, ja, cha, sha, sha. Same place. it's up on the top of the mouth. Sha, cha, sha. This one is pronounced in the same place as sha, as the ta, 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 sha, sha. So you have to turn the tongue back and hit sha, like that. So sha, 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 sha. Okay, that's the difference. Now, like I said, if you don't pronounce the difference, is okay. From a practical perspective, it's not going to harm your recitation of verses and so on. Again, for Vedic mantras, it might be disastrous. But for what we read, it's okay. Okay? It's not a problem. Sha, sha. Sha, sha. If you want to do it, you're welcome to do it. Same thing with the nas. Okay? The these four, na, nga, nya. Okay? Finally put them all together in a sutra. He said, nyamangarnanam. 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 Jiva Goswami says, no. Narayana bhutoyam varnakrama. The order of letters comes from Lord Narayana. I'm not going to mix and match like that. Nyamangarnanam sounds terrible. So he didn't do that. But finally put them together. So anyway, this is the regular na. Everyone can do it. It's right behind the teeth. This is N with a dot under it. It's pronounced in the same place in the mouth as the T with the dot underneath it. And the same place as the S with the dot underneath it. It's pronounced in the middle of the mouth. Ta, na, na, na. In Hindi, they roll this to make a difference. Arna, Aruna. Arna, Krishna. Arna. But in Sanskrit, there's no rolled Arna sound. It's na. Gujarati, they do or not?
Yeah, we do Arna. But actually, it seems natural, like we said, varna. So the tongue is already back when you say ra, and then so the na naturally becomes ana. So varnashram comes very naturally.
Yes.
It's actually smoother than using the other end. It actually makes sense.
In many places it does. In that case, in the varna case, the ra is further forward. The ra is just behind the dental sound. So you do have to move the tongue there. But in many cases, you're right. Like this.
Krishna.
In many cases with the D. Okay. So with each one of these, so this is na. This is na with the back. This is nga in the back of the throat, where ga is. Ga, ka, nga, nga. And this is where cha is. Ja, cha, ja, ja, nya. Same place. Okay? But the thing is, again with this, I always tell students, you don't worry about these different sounds. The reason is because Sanskrit has sandhi rules, and part of the benefit of sandhi rules is that these ends will almost always be together with sounds, other sounds of the same type. Like this word anda means egg, like brahmanda. So anda is with a da. So if you say the da, you will have no choice but to pronounce this as a na. Because your tongue again is lazy. So it's there anyway, it'll say the right na, anda. If you don't even try, say anda, you're saying this na, na. Same thing with this. Sangha. This is a different na, it's a nga. If you try to pronounce that separately, nga, it's a big headache. But if you put it next to the ga, sangha. Notice where your tongue is when you pronounce the nga. Sangha. It's already back there, right? Why? Because it's next to the ga. This originally was sam. Sam. Sam means together. A ma. And ga means to go. To go together is sangha. But Sanskrit says, ma with ga doesn't work. Samga. Your mouth is first forward, ma, and ga is way back. Ma is far forward, right? Lips. And ga is way back. This is too much work. So let's turn the ma into a ma. It's already, the tongue is back there. Sangha. So your tongue will, the beauty of Sanskrit is that it helps you to try to pronounce things properly. Because of the rules of sandhi, the things that your tongue wants to do anyway, Sanskrit says, okay, fine, you do it that way. So with these nas, practically speaking, don't worry about it. There are a couple of instances when this shows up separately, this na. And then if you want to, you can pay attention to it. Like Ramena. Then this na is there, Ramena. But again, my suggestion is, if you want to go into the details, go for it. If you don't, pronounce them all as nas, and you'll be okay. Okay? Bengali has completely lost the difference between these na sounds. Na, all four.
No.
Okay. So what verse were we on?
10.
And whose turn was it? Yes.
Maya dachena prakriti suyate sacharacharam.
Do a long oo. Suyate sacharacharam.
Suyate sacharacharam.
Suyate sacharacharam.
Suyate sacharacharam.
And no pausing after the sa, because sa is a short syllable. Suyate sacha, not like that. Suyate sacharacharam.
Suyate sacharacharam. Hetunanena kaunteya.
Hetunanena kaunteya.
Jagata viparivartate.
So no after the ta.
Okay, Jagat.
Yeah, no Are you reading from the...
Recite them loud.
Yes, recite them loudly. And find a recording of Bhagavad-Gita. Like, so if you have the full Bhaktivedanta Veda base, even I think in the abridged version, you can click on a little link next to each Gita verse, and there's Romapad Prabhu has recited these verses really nicely, and very nice recording. Otherwise, online also you can find recordings. It's just sometimes you get bad recordings also, that is pronounced recording. So you need to make sure you find a good recording. But the one in the Veda base, if you have that, is a very good recording. So you find a good recording and check with someone who is knowledgeable if you're not sure whether the recording is good, and then use that as a model. But make sure you have a good recording, otherwise you'll train yourself the wrong way, and then you'll have to unlearn. But the key thing is to practice. Play that, say it. Then you say it first, then play it, and test yourself. Do it with another person, and it becomes both enjoyable and it's easy to catch another person's mistakes, right? Fault finding is really easy with others and very difficult with one's own. So your own verse will sound perfect, but with the other person you go, I mistake. This is why Brahmanas always recited within groups when they recited Vedas. So, yes?
Is it a good idea to read in the Devanagari lipi if you know, or English? What is the best approach?
Whichever is most convenient for you. Devanagari or English. It makes no difference, no variation. If you pronounce the English properly, you will have every success as the person who is reading the Devanagari. And if you pronounce the Devanagari improperly, it will be worse than the person pronouncing the English properly, right? So there's no advantage for the lipi at all, one way or the other. Even Tamil lipi is fine, if that's what but you have to make sure that you pronounce what is actually there.
What is Devanagari?
This Hindi writing. The Hindi writing has become standard for Sanskrit, but it was never standard just recently it became standard. So all the research of manuscripts of Jiva Goswami Sandarbhas that I did, most of them were in Bengali lipi, because most of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, early ones, the older ones, were all Bengali because they were writing in Bengali. But then they were using also Devanagari lipi, but a slightly different version than what we use today. Some modifications were there.
Thank
you. Okay, good. So let's move on to the men. Oh, actually, Radharani Mataji, maybe after you we'll move on to the men. Sorry, did you want to do? Okay, please. Only 2 more people are left, then we'll move this way. Then please do so. Please.
I speak of Bhagavata, is okay?
We're following these verses from the Gita. हाँ ठीक है बोल
यम ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्र मरुता स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तै वेदै साङ्गपदकमोपिनसदै गायन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थितगतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः.
Very nice. Very nice. You just missed one word. Yasyantam na vidu. Yeah, vidu. It was very beautiful. Thank you.
What meter does this?
I would have to figure out.
It's the same meter as the first verse of the Bhagavad.
It's the Shardula Vikriditam. How does it begin again? Dhyana vastita tatgatena manaso janmadyasya yatonvaya. So you could sing it like that. Like Mataji had a very beautiful melody, right? But if you didn't know that melody, you could do it that same way. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Sunvanti Divyai Savai. So you can do it like that, right?
Mokasha Moka Karmano.
Very good. Just the first A is long one. Second A is also long. Moghasha, long.
Moghasha Moka Karmano.
Yeah. Moghasha Mogha Karmano.
Moga Jnana Vichetasha.
And then its last is sa, not sha. Vichetasa.
Rakshasin Ashurin Cheva.
Rakshasin Asurin Sa.
Rakshasin.
Yeah.
Rakshasin Asurin Cheva.
Rakshasin Asurin Chaiva.
Prakriti Mohinim Shita.
So that E is long. Mohinim, the second one. Prakritim Mohinim Shrita.
Prakriti Mohinim Shrita.
I like to eat all the little tops and bottoms.
Yes. So I think the key thing for you is just to pay attention to the long syllables. If a vowel is long, just give it long, no rush. Moghasha, Mogha. And the longer you do it, the more beautiful it sounds. Moghasha, Moghata, Mano. No rush. Because every syllable is long. Mo is long, Ha is long, Sha is long, Kar is long, it's all long in that. So let's start over here on this side with Divinampu.
Mahatmanastu mam partha. Devim prakritim
Short A.
Devim prakritim bhajante anyamanas.
Okay, so follow the rule. Bhajant, and then what do you do with the Y?
Bhajan yananya manaso Gyatva bhutadim avyayam.
Good. Try that third line again. No, the third part. Bhajan
yanyan manaso.
Bhajan yananya. Bhajan yananya manaso.
Gyatva bhutadim avyayam.
O son of Pratha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustive.
Nice. Elemental.
Satatam kirtayanto mam.
Satatam kirtayanto mam.
Yatantascha dridavrita.
Yatantascha dridavrita.
Namasyantascha mam bhaktya.
Namasyantascha mam bhaktya.
Nitya yukta upasate.
Nitya yukta upasate.
Very good. A+. This is why he's temple president. So just one thing, upasate, not sha. Upasate. And the last, previous line, vrataha, long A. Vrataha. At the end, we don't want to swallow the long A. Vrataha. Yatantascha dridha vrataha. Dridha is a little bit of a hard word. The word dridha means hard. Dridha.
Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, his great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
So Krishna, he defined the great souls in the previous verse. Who are the great souls? They take shelter of my divine nature. And then he tells us what they do, these great souls. They spend their time always chanting his glories.
Jnana yagnena champyanye.
Jnana yagnena champyanye.
Yajnanto mam upasate.
Yajnanto mam upasate.
Ekadvena prathatvena.
Ekadvena prathatvena.
Bahudha visvato mukham.
Vishva, shva.
Bahudha vishvato mukham. Bahudha vishvato mukham.
Try that second part again. Yajanto.
Yajanto mam upasate.
Yajanto mam upasate.
Good. Very nice. Translation.
Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form.
So Krishna is providing such a clear preference here. You know, people think Gita is all paths lead to the same goal, but he's giving such a clear preference. He's saying the Mahatmas, those special ones, they satatam kirtayanto mam. They worship me, chanting my glories. And then there's others who engage in the cultivation of knowledge, jnana. Others means what? Not the Mahatmas. They may be advanced, but they're not Mahatmas. The Mahatmas sing my glories, and then the others, they engage in the cultivation of knowledge, or they worship the universal form. It's pretty anye, he's saying anye, the others. It's crystal clear. I mean, the Sanskrit couldn't be clearer here.
Prabhu, what does it mean when it's a one without the second? Pritatvena. What is that?
Ekatvena, pritatvena. Means one without a second means, actually that's a very nice topic, but in brief, it means that the Lord has no equal and no superior.
Unique.
So he is unique. He's one, no other person, no second person comes up to his standard. One without a second. Ekamevad Vitiyam, the Upanishad say. He is one, no two. There's no other person like him.
There's no other one like him.
Yes.
There's no second God, basically.
Yes.
No, there is no second. Period.
Without a second.
Yes.
Aham kraturaham yagya.
Aham kraturaham yagya.
Swadhaham maham aushadham.
Swadhaham maham aushadham.
Mantroham maham evajyam.
Mantroham maham evajyam.
Aham agniraham hutam.
Aham agniraham hutam.
Very nice, very nice.
Translation: but it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb or herb, the transcendental chant, I am the butter and the fire and the offering.
This is the main problem with British English, if they say herb.
They said the Oxford version for you.
This is why I didn't stay in England. I didn't want my kids to grow up speaking
herb.
herb.
It's irritating.
But that's English.
Huh?
That's English.
No, that's British English. This is English.
So why do we call them English?
Just as generosity, our generosity. America is the center of the world. I don't know if you knew that. Prabhupada came where first, America or London?
America, that's right.
See? So Prabhupada agrees with me. Okay. Next verse is also very nice. 9th chapter is like 100% made of gems. You know, it's just a beautiful, beautiful chapter. So, who's next? Yes.
Pitaham asya jagato.
Pitaham asya jagato.
Mata data pitamaha.
Mata dhata pitamaha. Just do that dha with air. Huh? Mata dhata.
Mata data pitamaha.
Mata dhata pitamaha.
Mata dhata pitamaha.
Yes. Mata dhata pitamaha.
Vedyam pavitram omkara.
Vedyam pavitram omkara.
Rikshama yajur evacha.
Rikshama yajur evacha.
Rikshama yajur evacha.
Yes. Rikshama yajur evacha.
Rikshama yajur evacha.
Rikshama yajudevacha.
Yes. I am the father of this universe.
In the mic.
Mother, the support, and grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable womb. I am also the Rig, the Sama, and Yajur Vedas.
He's the father and he's the mother.
Gatira Bharta Prabhum Sakshi.
Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi.
Vinashaha.
You reverse 2 syllables.
Nivasa.
Nivasaha. Saranam Sura.
Nivasa Sharanam Suhrit.
Yes, good. Suhrit.
Prabhava Pralayaha. Sthanam.
Short syllables. Prabhava. Prabhava. Prabhava.
Pralayaha. Sthanam.
Yes. Prabhava pralaya sthanam.
Nityanam Bhajam Avyayam.
Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam.
Long A.
Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam.
Yes. Nidhanam bijam avyayam. Every syllable counts. Please repeat. Gatir bharta prabhu sakshi.
Gatir bharta prabhu sakshi.
Nivasa sharanam suhit.
Nivasa sharanam suhit.
Prabhava pralaya sthanam.
Prabhava pralaya sthanam.
Nidhanam bijam avyayam.
Nidhanam bijam avyayam.
I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the inhalation, the basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal seed.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, one more and then we're coming to a different meter. So that'll be nice. In a different metrical pattern.
Tapamya ahamam varshamam.
So try again, one syllable at a time.
Tapamya aham.
Tapamya. Tapamyaham.
Tapamyaham. Ahamam. Varshamam.
No, varsham.
Oh, varsham. Tapamyam aham varsham. Aham varsham.
Tapamyaham aham varsham.
Nikruhanamya utasujam.
Okay, so this is like the most difficult line in the 9th chapter. One syllable at a time. Ne, gr, nam, nigr, nam, yu, nigr, nam, yu, nigr, nam, yu. So no u again. Nigr, nam, yut, nigr, nam, yut. Srijam. Srijam. Ya. Srijami cha. Sorry, no ya. Srijami cha. So together. Nigranam yut srijami cha. Nigranam yut srijami cha.
Amrutamam.
No extra mam. Amre.
Amritam chaiva mrityuscha.
Amritam chaiva mrityuscha.
Sada asach chaham Arjuna.
Sadasat chaham Arjuna. Sadasat chaham Arjuna. Sadasat chaham Arjuna. Okay. Translation. It's okay. O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. Now, I want to move on to samasas, but there's 2 verses of a different meter, so we might as well get some practice with those. This is the longer meter. It's called Trishtub in general. It usually has 11 or 12 syllables. There's different melodies possible for this, but this is one that I use. Like that, huh? Traividyamam somapa putapapa Kshine punye martyalokam vishanti Kshine punye martyalokam vishanti Kshine punye martyalokam vishanti Kshine punye martyalokam vishanti Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna Gata gatam kama kama labhante Gata gatam kama kama labhante Gata gatam kama kama labhante Gata gatam kama kama labhante. See, this meter is less familiar, no? Yeah. So practice your pronunciation with the shorter meters. And once you're confident with saying the words of Sanskrit and paying attention to each syllable and not messing up with those, then move on to these ones. Because in the other ones, the shorter ones, you have the advantage that you can feel the rhythm. It comes naturally. You've heard it so often. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsava. You feel it. With this one, you don't feel it as much. And so the chances of tripping up become a lot higher. So practice with the shorter verses, then move on to these ones for your practice, once you've got those ones sorted.
In this one, it says, Chire Punye Mrityu Loka. Is it not Mrityu or Mrityu?
Martya. Martya. So, Mr means to die. Martya is a place to be dead. So, it's a deadful place. Martya. And Loka is the world, which is the world to be dead. Yes, exactly.
So it's not a Mrityu Loka.
It's same thing. Mrityu Loka and Martya Loka, same thing. Martya is the world for those who are to be dead. Martyas are us. We are the Martyas.
Hello?
Yes.
The mantras, when you recite, not knowingly but unknowingly, if you don't recite correctly, what Lord said, does it affect against, like the other mantras, if you don't recite, then you, one time they remember that they were chanting that, I forgot the word, that he should get the Singhasan of
yes, Nidrasan and Indrasan.
Right, and then he was kicked out.
So with your question is very good. If you can listen please to the lecture on Friday evening that I gave a whole 1.5 hour class on this point, and also on Saturday afternoon. They'll be recorded and put on YouTube. So you can hear there. I'll just say in very brief, because we discussed this in some detail, which is that it depends on the type of mantra. If it's a Vedic mantra, then such mistakes can be catastrophic. It can be very dangerous. Indrasan, Nidrasan, Indrashatru, Indrashatru. We discussed a few examples of this. But when it comes to verses of glorification for the Lord, Krishna, then such little mistakes, so long as we try our best to recite them nicely, Krishna looks beyond, he forgives them. Just like a mother or a father will ignore the mistakes in pronunciation of the child. Yes, the child will say some mistake, they'll ignore it. It's okay. They understand what they mean. Right? So in the same way, Krishna understands what we are trying to say. We should try our best. That is our duty. And Krishna's duty is to ignore our mistakes. Right? So in this way, it becomes nice.
Thank you.
Yes. When they have thus enjoyed the vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to the mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. Tetam bhuktva. After eating the whole world, whole Swargaloka, the whole heavenly planets, then they come back to this world. Okay, so oh gosh, it's past 5. I was looking at thought it was 4 o'clock. This is terrible. I thought I had a full 45 minutes. So our time is up, and I think it's time for other things today. So I will see you again, perhaps for the Sunday feast class. And as for our samosas or samasas, we're going to have to wait on those. We will discuss those some other day, some other time. Okay? So I hope that was useful, and I hope you continue practicing in the recitation for all the reasons that we discussed yesterday. If we practice nicely, you can enjoy these verses very much. Even if you're not a musician, if you just learn how to pronounce them nicely, anytime you feel tired, you feel stressed, you feel like you want some time with Krishna, just pick up Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam, recite the verses, and you'll feel very, very happy, spiritually energized. Okay? Thank you all so much for your attention.